morning. How are you? It is Sunday. What is the date today? February 22nd. We're almost to the end of the damn month. Whoa, these months are going to fly by. And what is it, 5 more Sundays and we go back to daylight savings time? And I'm thankful because I never could figure out in my car how to change the time. There's a couple things still in my car I can't figure out. I'm drinking a different brand of coffee this morning, which I will talk to you about here in a second. I probably should have microwaved it. Typically, I'm a Folgers kind of girl, or I love Aldi's brand of the breakfast blend. But yesterday I was at the good Dollar Tree that has the higher end, merchandise, and I broke down and bought Hills Brothers coffee. You could say coffee is coffee, but really coffee isn't when you are used to a certain brand. Do I hate it? No, it just has a different type of flavor. And then I went and bought, and I think I've said this before, if you go buy the pods, in fact, I'm going to put you on hold 1 second, and I'm going to grab it. Hold on. Okay, so go back to, I was at the Dollar Tree, got the Hills Brother coffee, and then I have an espresso pot. I can't remember what it's called at the moment. The silver one that you put on the stove. If you take one of these pods, this is a Donut Cafe salted caramel. It's medium roast. Now I added one of these into my 2 scoops this morning in with my coffee because I just wanted a little bit of a flavor. Just something different. I'm still adding salt to my coffee to take the bitterness out. I probably could have used a little bit more. Over the last couple days, I felt like I was getting sick again, and I had all that, in your throat. That salt in your coffee, it really loosens up that, whatever that is called. Anyway, if you take one of these pods, and then don't throw the pod away because you can use it for plants when you're getting ready for spring, which will be I'm thinking a series by the end of March because it's a little early yet. Although I've been meandering through my yard and it just makes me really angry because it's a mess right now. But anyway, if you take one of these pods and put it in your on the stove espresso thing and then pack it with a little bit more of your regular coffee brand, it makes the best iced coffee that you have ever had, and it will save you $10 at Starbucks. Did I tell you that story 2 weeks ago? I was out and about, I had an extra $10, and I'm like, I want to treat myself to a fancy coffee. It had been a while since I had had a fancy coffee, almost 2 years. So went through Starbucks, and the price tag for my large iced coffee light cream was $10. I about fell over in my vehicle. So I'm like, there's a better way to do it. So that's the cheating way. Just go to your Dollar Tree, the higher end one. Get yourself your favorite pod. Pack that in. Put your coffee on top. Make your little espresso. And then pour your cream, your milk, whatever you put into your coffee. Of course, lots of ice. Do the ice first and then pour your coffee mix over. It is to die for. Other than that, it goes great in your regular coffee maker if you just want a little extra flavor with your morning coffee, although I can drink coffee all day long. I'm Kitryn Marie, reside in St. Louis, Missouri, an artist, writer, speaker, life and a business coach, teach a variety of art classes, a published author, a new wearer of contacts, and this is kind of the me that I remember. I never realized by wearing glasses how much it messes with the muscles around your eyes. I'm in my travel clothes. Am I going anywhere other than to Walgreens today to go get some different eye drops, because I find after about an hour or so, my eyes get very dry. And then when they start to get dry, they get those little puffs underneath. And I'm not in a position to go get, cosmetic surgery to have all of that removed. So we're doing the best we can with what we have to work with. But, how are you? What's the weather doing where you are this Sunday, February 22nd? Had some crazy-ass dreams last night. Crazy-ass dreams. Woke up this morning and I was like, what the hell was that? We're all kind of craving change. We are all on social media, news media overload. And with all the things that are coming out in our outside circumference, it is overload. It is too much, and our brains are not really equipped to handle all the information that is coming out. We're not supposed to know this much information, period, the end. So whatever you're doing today, make sure you stay off of social media as much as you possibly can. Take a break. Give your mind a break, other than listening to my video, because I have more products I want to promote here. And then I'll kind of get into the message that I've been thinking about. For those of you that used to be in my life, what's life like now without me? How's things? How you surviving? Who you playing woes me to? Where's your fun factor? Where's your whomever challenging you to be a better version of yourself? Take care of yourself, your mental health, your physical health, how you speak to yourself, how you surround yourself with whomever it is that you come in contact with in your daily life. How is life working for you without me being in it? A few things over this past week, with social media, you don't know what's going to come across your feed, and I don't know what the hell Facebook Meta is doing, but I have more things come across my feed that I did not sign up for or sign on for. But this I can say, leave them alone and watch how they go back to their natural habitat. You can see exactly where growth did not penetrate lives after I left the life. But back to the contact thing. Okay, so, I've been saying this for weeks on end. I need a tan. I need a tan. I need a tan. I need a vacation. I need something other than the 15 degrees temperature that is outside and the lack of sun, although the sun is shining a little bit today. But it's just kind of like, I need a tan. So, when I was at the fancy Dollar Tree, these bronzer drops with cocoa extract, shea butter, and vitamin E. Girls, it works. Let me see if I can get that to focus. It works. It really does. It gives a little bit of color, and you can layer it. Start out just a little bit on your middle finger. Pat it where you would believe the sun would hit you, and then build. Go in with your foundation. I use the Maybelline Fit. It's a 220, a natural beige. It's almost a little dark. You can't really see because I've got all kinds of lighting going on here, but it's actually a little dark for this time of year for me because I have no tan at all, and it's driving me insane. I had said to a friend, I'm about ready to go pay for a tan. But anyway, it comes in this packaging. Of course, my dog's going to bark. Comes in that packaging. It might have been $3. It didn't matter. It will last a long time. But if you want a little bit of color in your face, it's very creamy. It is not dry. Has a lot of moisture in it. Go get it. Now I can throw this packaging away because I was saving it for my video. Okay, the other thing too, with these new contacts, and whoever wears contacts, please let me know why and how. Your eyes, your nose, your ears, the way you breathe, it's all connected. And when you have a foreign body in your eye, your body is saying, hey, you got something different in there and we need to reject it. So therefore, we are going to make all kinds of things swell up that normally wouldn't swell up. And as we age, as we get less sleep, as we work in very stressful environments, as we are not hydrated, we get these lovely little bags and puffs under your eyes. And that's what I have been fighting with. Again, I'm in good lighting right now. No filter. This is me. The Dollar Tree had the silicone for your lips, for under your eyes. Put them in the freezer. Put them in the freezer. Let them get a little bit of frost on them. Put them on your eyes as you're scrolling through your phone, as you're watching TV, whatever you're doing, and kind of just let it. This is doused, because when I put them in the freezer, there was so much liquid on them, which I'm reading is hyaluronic acid, which we need for our skin, male or female. You got puffs, you got bags, you got issues with, your skin and your face. When you put these in the freezer, that hyaluronic acid, and it's made with heart leaf, it gets little crystals on it. Doesn't freeze like you would think, like an ice cube, but enough that when you put it on your eyes, you can tell exactly how dry your skin is. And as it starts to thaw, how it sucks in to your skin, giving you a nice, lovely, lovely glow. And I did this morning. This is the second one. You can use it 2 or 3 times, although the package only says use it once and throw away. They just want you to buy more, spend more of your money, but utilize what you have. Use it 3 days. Comes in a little package, and then I bought some, and the one with the lip plump, it's just extra moisture. It doesn't plump up your lips. And, at some point I want that Nefertiti lift. The puppet lines will go away, I promise you, and I can live with the rest of it. But it's those things I cannot. Call me vain. I don't care. But then I went and got also some vitamin C and some retinol under eye. It's important. The under part of your eye, it shows exactly the stresses in your life. That's how the stress shows up, how tired, how mentally exhausted you are. It shows up on your face. And when you are dealing with the public, you want to look your best, You may see your reflection in a mirror, but remember, when people are speaking to you and talking to you, they are looking at your face. They are looking at your image. They're eyeing you up and down, seeing how well you are put together and how you are representing whatever it is, whether it be a product, a service, just your mannerism in general. So anyway, those are my go-tos. Just at the Dollar Tree. What's it going to cost you? I think I spent $25 there yesterday. Well worth it. Was yesterday National Margarita Day? I believe I heard that. Met up with my counterpart, who I share my position with at work, and a couple of the brewers. And we went to Chilaluitas, I don't know how to say it, over by River Pear and Chippewa. Fabulous Mexican restaurant. If you are looking for something and you are in between the county and the city of St. Louis, check out Chilinguas. I think that's how you say it. And a couple of us just got together. My brewer guys, they're in their 30s. They're young. I could be their mom. I could be their grandma. And I love having these conversations with any of these gentlemen that are working at the restaurant. And, they work on the brewery side. I work on the restaurant side. They're young. It's important to understand the needs and the wants of this younger generation, because these gentlemen are workers. Their family dynamics are all different than the dynamics that we grew up. I'm guessing I'm talking to a bunch of Gen Xers and a lot of boomers. This young generation, it's completely different how their parents have raised them, how some of their parents have backed off, and how some of them really don't want to intermingle with their parents. And regardless of the situation, regardless of who you are or what your family dynamic is, you as a parent, it's important for you to continue to reach out to your children. And as they get older, they need to know that they can still rely on you, not necessarily financially, but for emotional support, emotional backup. Asking, how is your day? What's going on? And this is how, like during the week when I see them, I'm always asking, how's the day? How's things going? What is working on that back there? How do you feel about that? What's new? Now, because I'm only there 2 days a week and I don't see them for days on end, when they come in, what did you do over the weekend? Did you do anything fun? Did you go anywhere? Did you talk to your folks? The one had just gotten back with us from a 7-day cruise with his family. And he's just said, Kit, I was just with them for 7 days. And I'm like, I get it. I understand. But still, don't forget your mom and dad are out there. Give them a call. And then my counterpart, her and I she's so young. She's going to be 30 in April. She'll have a birthday coming up. Her and I just bounce off of each other. We are a team at work. We know how each other operates. And God love her. When she knows I am in the weeds, she is right there to help me, function, because being so much older than everybody else at that restaurant, it's nice to know that I have that kind of support. And with the way things have changed over the last couple weeks and the chaos that I'm having a very difficult time functioning in, it's nice to get together with all of these lovely young people outside of my work environment, and they tolerate my nonsense, because anybody who knows me, I can be pretty silly. And I was telling them the place that we went, the Mexican restaurant now, used to be a karaoke bar. And I remember years back being at that establishment till 3 o'clock in the morning singing karaoke. Would I do that now? Fuck, no. I enjoy being at home. I enjoy being in my own surrounding, in my own peace of mind. So where are you at? And if it was National Margarita Day yesterday, did you get out and have a margarita? I had 2. I had small ones, 2 small ones. I love the taste of the margarita mix. Sometimes it's way too sugary. And although I do like the salt on the rim, and it's light tequila, light, because tequila is not my thing. But that mix, man, it messes with my blood sugars. And I came home not because I had too much alcohol, but because it was too much of a sugar rush in my bloodline, and it played havoc. So, but the food was fabulous. And will I have a margarita again? Yeah, probably. Will it stop me? No, it won't, because it's just yummy. This morning in my shorts, I guess this is the part that I'm kind of getting to. In my short, it was a guy that was talking about his wife wanting a farm, and how he may have not necessarily agreed with everything that she was saying, but he was hoping that there was going to be a compromise, because he wanted to provide what his wife was asking from him. And then he went into the different dynamics. She had already had, plans drawn out. She knew she wanted chickens and goats and so on and so forth. And, I know that conversation. I know that conversation very well, because once a woman has an idea in her mind, she is not going to settle for less than the vision that she has put together, trying to make it work. So when her husband, spouse, boyfriend, in this particular case, it was her husband, he was going to be able to accommodate in the highest regard of what she was wanting to do for the both of them. Now, because I know that under that conversation, and I know that understanding, the person that you're involved with, they have to be willing to alter the way that they do life in order to have another life. Now, I don't know where this couple lives, and because I am right at the border of St. Louis City and St. Louis County, and in order to have that dream and that vision, I would need to go either way down South 55 or way west down 44. I've had that vision, that dream, that goal, and especially when I had my horse. You know, the whole idea was to get her in my backyard, bring on a couple more horses, do the whole chicken thing, you know, do that farm stand. But more than anything, it would be a lot of work. And it is an extra effort in learning how to homestead, how to live off the land, you know, as an avid gardener, you know, having my hands in the dirt. That's basically how I grew up. My dad always, you know, very much taught me dirt therapy will solve anything. But it was a matter of having that peace when I knew that my person was coming home from his crazy, hectic, chaotic day. He'd be coming home to peace. And although there would be work and there would be chores to do, it would be a labor of love, because it would be something that could be tilled with the ground. It would be something that could be tended to with hands, you know, fostering a new life, bringing a different type of life into your world so you can better have a vision of what peace looks like. You know, all of my life, mostly I've worked in the restaurant industry. My dad being a country kind of person, my mom's side of the family being, you know, very city-fied, I very much fell into that want that my dad, you know, had talked about when living on a farm, living dirt poor, you know, going down to the root cellar, you know, hiding away from the world, watching his grandpa smoke a pipe with the potbelly, you know, stove. Have we come farther from that? Absolutely we have, you know, but it's that simpler way of life. When you were working in a city environment, when you were working in a corporate environment, and the structure that is put on you, when it really, really goes against who you are, but because you are chasing that paycheck, and because you have been programmed to suffer so you can get that paycheck, my vision of wanting to go to the country life and the farm life and being able, I cooked from scratch to begin with, but knowing that my person was going to be coming home to peace. Because any man with a clear mind understands what peace is. A man understands that his woman can't offer him that peace if he is willing to understand what real peace looks like. You know, if you're already working in a chaotic environment, coming home to chaos is the last thing you want to do. You know, and if you've already developed all of these really bad coping skills, and you're getting to a point where what you used to use as a coping skill, that mechanism to wind you down, is no longer working, and it is making matters worse, then you have to understand what real peace looks like and how that real peace feels. And in order to have that serenity, you need to move outside of the chaos, distinguishing that chaos that you're living within your job, it doesn't have to carry into your home life. And too many people can't distinguish. They can't set it aside. So therefore, when, this week Facebook was like presenting a whole bunch of pictures of a bunch of stuff, I just busted out laughing. because it goes back to leave people right where you found them and look to see how they've resorted back to the life that they have no desire of changing, no desire of getting out of, because once that chaos lives within you, you don't get to distinguish what peace and tranquility really looks like, because your brain doesn't understand how to separate from all that calamity. I hope that made sense. I hope wherever you are today in this Sunday, February 22nd, you were looking at your own life and you were deciding where that peace is, where that tranquility is, and what are you really going to have to move out of in order to have the other side of that coping mechanism that is no longer working for you. I hope for today you were happy, you were blessed, you were thankful for a lot of different things. For those I have removed from my life, how's your life working for you? What have you settled on and for? And what calamity have you continued to bring into your life because you never could distinguish what the other side looked like? But I am Kitryn Marie, an artist, a writer, a speaker, a life and a business coach, reside in St. Louis, Missouri, looking to get to that other side. I'm a published author, When He Had Her, available on Amazon. I teach a variety of art and communication classes based in life coaching and business coaching. Remember, fate turns on a dime, and it is up to you to decide what side of that coin you want to be on. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful day. Keep your fingers crossed that when I go to get these new eye drops, it will help with the circles, keeping the circles away from under my eyes and keeping my eyes nice and lubricated, because I'm digging wearing these contacts. This is the face that I remember. But y'all take care, and I will see you real soon. Feel free, reach out, kitrynmarie@gmail.com. Take care. Bye.